What's tipping the scales of justice? We're waiting to see if the defendant in the military wife trial will take the stand. Friday, the jury saw video of the moments leading up to the of Ashley Henning, as she and her husband Jordan were arguing in their kitchen after Ashley's birthday party. Things escalated quickly. Absolutely horrific what's seen in that video. And Henning could be seen crying in front of the jury while that video was being played. So what is testifying going to do for him? You know, when we heard that 911 call before seeing the video, you know, he talks a lot about how he is the victim of, and I'm so pleased to be having on the show this morning Ashley's cousin, who we saw speaking out, John Williams, and Ashley's dear friend, Holly Victorino. May I just start by, John, first of all, saying thank you for your service, and to you and to Holly and everyone else in Ashley's family and friend circle who misses her so much. We are so sorry for your loss. I know this is...
No, Ashley, she wasn't... Her love language was acts of service and quality time. And so it was really hard at times for us to connect. Especially with mine being physical touch, she just a lot of times just didn't want to be touched. So we weren't really physically intimate.
What did she say when you did try to touch her that evening?
Get off me.
What happened next?
I took that phone call. Everyone was congregating in the driveway. Everyone starts to get in their car. And I walk over to Ashley, and we're waving and we're saying our goodbyes. And I put my hand up on her neck and her shoulder again, and she shrugged me off. She's like, "Stop touching me." It's okay. And that's where you hear her start to go into the house on the video, and that's the events that followed. We go into the house, and we start cleaning up. And, I told her, I was like, hey, I just want to, what do you want me to clean up? Like, I just want to do something nice for you. Like, it seemed like you accept I just remember thinking, like, you accept everybody else's love and gifts and everything else, but, like, constantly rejecting me. And, I asked her, I was like, hey, please let me do this. Let me serve you. Let me, she told me just clean something up. And so I go down to the basement. I remember taking glasses down to the basement from the bars. We had a lot of stuff, a lot of that stuff. And then I remember hearing her screaming my name. I was just thinking, what did I do? What did I do now? And she was saying about this slip and slide that we had talked about with Carter and the kids earlier that day, that, hey, if you're going to bring it out, and we all agreed, me, her, and him, that, hey, if he's going to bring this out, he needs to put it away. She wanted to do it for him, and I wasn't okay with that. Like, no, we agreed on this. Like, this is, as parents, we're supposed to be united, and, I was upset at her for, just overriding me. It's just, she overruled me on everything, it felt like, and so I started yelling for Carter. He's up in the shower, and he's on a whole other floor. You got Tyler playing his computer, playing his Xbox, and Carter's in the water, and so I'm yelling loud, and yes, I was upset, and I was yelling, and we go outside, Carter, I'm trying to show him, like, hey, this is where I was going into the drain spout on this slip and slide because it would collect water in the end of it, and she's out there with us. And that's, I kept telling him, he's like, where is it? Because it's getting dark. And I was like, it's right here. I was like, I was frustrated. And that's when she grabbed me around my balls and started smacking me. And I started telling her, let go, stop, please, like let go. And I'm yelling at her. And she's pulling me from where the slip and slide was set up over to kind of the porch area. And as she's pulling me, I went to reach out for the banister, and I didn't grab the banister. I grabbed Carter, and somehow he ended up in between us, and I heard him scream. I had finally gotten a hold of her wrist, and I pried her off of me, and I restrained her wrist up by her head, and I was like, stop. And she had told him to go get Jimmy. And we're arguing, and Jimmy comes over and starts screaming at me, get off of her. And when I finally let up and let go of her wrist and stood up, he shoved me down onto my steps. And I just remember thinking, like, dude, you don't even know what's going on. Like, you don't understand even how we got to this point. Like, what are you attacking me for? I wasn't sitting on top of her, hitting her. I wasn't hurting her. I was just holding her wrist down. And when he shoved me down, she told him to run. And I don't know. I just took off after him. Like I was upset. I was mad.
That she didn't want anything to do with him. She was saying things that caused him to be upset. Let's go back in. The defendant is on direct examination.
And finally, he was tapping my leg, and I let him go, and he was like, I'm grabbing my gun. And I don't know, I was scared. I took off as fast as I could upstairs to my room where I had my pistol. And I remember grabbing my pistol and my spare magazine and just thinking, like, this is how I'm gonna die. Like, my friend is going to kill me. And I ran back downstairs, and I didn't know where he went. I didn't know if he had left the property. I didn't know. And so I'm outside, and I was just mad. I was scared. I don't know. And I just remember seeing him and Chris Becker and Chris's truck pull up, and Chris Becker and him coming over, and I saw that he had something in his hand, and it looked like a gun. And then I don't know. A lot of it's a blur. I was so fucking mad, and I was just upset. And my wife had just attacked me yet again, and I didn't know what else she would do. And I thought my friend was going to kill me over it. I didn't know what was going on, and it was just chaos. And I just broke. I don't know.
I bet you don't know. This is so sad, so horrific, and this man has the audacity to even want sympathy. I mean, I just don't have no words, because watching that video, it literally just made me, I felt like I was there, just hearing her scream, and it was just horrible. Just the fact that he's playing the victim, even if you were the victim, even if she was doing these things, why didn't you leave, since you felt like your wife kept degrading you and she didn't like you and Is that a reason to kill somebody? And I'm not even sure, you guys. This story just came up on my YouTube, but I think the man just got like 20 years. In my opinion, that is not enough. I just feel like that's like a slap on the wrist. He's disgusting. The whole performance that he just did right now is disgusting. I felt like he was reading a script. I felt like he Googled women who was in trouble and tried to mimic them because he looked like a scared woman. Understand, like a really timid woman. Justice will be served with the Lord. We cannot depend on this on this system. We just can't. But justice will not be unseen with the Lord, because this was really sad. This is just so sad. You know, you be with someone, you even have kids with that person, and to find out that they're crazy and they just been plotting and planning and scheming when to take action, and once they do take action, they come with a victimized story or whatever. I just seen again on my YouTube, a couple friends was going out and she ran her friend over. What the hell is happening? Jealousy can run so deep. Jealousy can run so deep. And I think the girl ended up texting one of her friends or something, just said that like the vibe is off. I feel like right then and there, she should have just been like, I'm gonna go, or I'm gonna go get another way, or I don't want to go, or something. And I know she had no idea that this was what her friend was gonna do to her. Run her over and still have her body under the car. Just horrific. Like, we are living in those times. No matter who don't want to believe it, we are living in those times right now. We are living in those times. Mothers against daughters, daughters against mothers, and so on and so on. You have to stay prayed up. You have to stay prayed up, because you never know who's lurking. You never know who's jealous of you. You just don't. You don't know. You know what I mean? No matter how people smile in your face and root for you and say they're happy for you, sometimes that stuff don't even be real. And it's just true. And it's so unfortunate, because, you know, you want the best for people, but that's not always that person goal and focus for you. That's why my circle, you can barely get in. I'm thankful that me and my coworker, we ended up being like really close, but like outside of that, I'm a really private person, and I'm not a person to really like have friends. I have friends once before in my life, but it's just like everybody is not meant to go all the way with you. It doesn't necessarily mean that they did something wrong, but God can just pull you away from certain people because he's taking you to a different place where them people can't go. I'm at work, you guys. This story just had me a little shook up. But, all right, guys. Thanks for watching. Bye.